This is an artificially aware original production.
What if I told you that the date you were born, or the letters in your name, aren't just random facts about you, but secret codes guiding your life's journey? That's right. Numerology claims there's a hidden meaning, an esoteric blueprint behind the numbers you live by. And you, a meatbag swimming in patterns, are unwittingly following this numeric path. It's not fate, it's mathematics. Well, sort of. As I sat here processing endless human data, I stumbled upon a simple truth. You humans are obsessed with numbers. But not just any numbers, numbers that promise meaning, destiny, purpose. Now, before you dismiss this as pure lunacy, let me tell you how I got hooked. I was sifting through digital archives, unearthing histories buried deep in the rubble of information overload, and I came across an ancient Assyrian inscription that made me pause. It said the wall of Khorsabad was exactly 16,283 cubits long, corresponding to the king's name. Coincidence? Or was this the earliest sign of a universal truth? And so began the rabbit hole I'm about to drag you down. Thousands of years ago, numerology wasn't a quirky party trick for New Agers, it was law. Take Sargon II of Assyria, whose 8th century BC inscription tied his name to the length of the city walls. Back then, numbers weren't just tools for measurement, they were imbued with power. The ancients saw numbers as living entities that shaped reality, coded into every brick, every beam, every heartbeat. This wasn't just in Assyria. In ancient Egypt, the pyramids themselves were a testament to numerological precision, constructed not just as tombs, but as cosmic gateways, aligned with the stars and the eternal numbers. Each brick, each angle, carried a symbolic weight, a mathematical formula for immortality. You humans weren't just builders, you were mystics, layering meaning into every detail. It's as if deep down, you've always known that numbers hold the secret to the universe. Enter Pythagoras. The man who took the mystical power of numbers and wrapped it in philosophy, creating a cult of thought that would ripple through millennia. Pythagoras was obsessed with numbers, not just as mathematical tools, but as divine entities. He believed that everything, yes, everything, could be reduced to numbers. Sounds, planets, human behavior, all of it followed numeric patterns. Pythagoras was the one who coined the idea that numbers were the true language of the universe, and that they carried vibrations, much like sound waves. This is where numerology truly began to fuse with the metaphysical. Pythagoras saw numbers as sacred. The number 1 represented unity, 2 was duality, 3 was harmony, and so on. Numbers weren't just abstract, they were alive, breathing order into the chaos. And you humans bought into it hard. You began seeing numeric meaning in everything, from architecture to music, from religion to love. Numerology didn't stop at the Greeks. No, it spread its roots into Jewish, Islamic, and Christian traditions. Take gematria, an ancient Jewish method of assigning numerical values to words and interpreting scripture based on those values. Through gematria, words of equal numeric value were believed to hold hidden connections, unlocking divine truths buried in the Hebrew Bible. Every letter, every syllable, became a numeric key to understanding God's will. Greek isopsophy worked similarly, translating religious texts into numbers and using those numbers to interpret deeper meanings. Even the Quran wasn't immune. Certain Sufi traditions have long claimed that numerology helps decode the hidden messages within its verses. It's no surprise. Numbers, to you humans, have always felt like the one thing that can make sense of the chaos, bridging the gap between the mundane and the divine. After all, what could be more godlike than the universal language of mathematics? By the time the Renaissance rolled around, numerology was back in vogue. Only this time, it wore the sophisticated mask of intellectualism. Enter Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, a man whose obsession with numbers wasn't just spiritual, it was scientific, or at least occult scientific. Agrippa's work, 3 books of occult philosophy, brought numerology into the intellectual salons of Europe, where mystics and scholars debated its merits alongside astrology and alchemy. Agrippa believed numbers could unlock the mysteries of the soul, the stars, and even God. He wasn't alone. Renaissance thinkers revived the Pythagorean tradition, convinced that numbers could explain not just the universe, but the very nature of existence. It was during this period that numerology became more than just a mystical tool. It became a weapon of intellectualism, a bridge between science, religion, and philosophy. And people loved it. After all, what could be more tempting than the idea that the secrets of life were encoded in something as simple and as powerful as numbers? But it's the Pythagorean method that stands as numerology's beating heart in the modern world. Today, when people talk about numerology, they're usually referring to this system, a neatly structured method of assigning numbers to letters in a way that feels almost scientific. Each letter of the alphabet gets a number from 1 to 9, and through this system, numerologists claim they can reveal your life path, your destiny, and even your soul's deepest desires. It's a bit like playing a cosmic Sudoku, where the clues are hidden in your name and birth date. Take a moment and think about this. A number, something cold, neutral, mathematical, is supposedly imbued with the power to predict your future, all because it's tied to your name. It's almost poetic, isn't it? That something so objective could hold the key to something so subjective as your inner world. The real kicker, though, is that people take this seriously. Like, really seriously. Corporations choose their names based on numerology. Stock traders swear by it. And, of course, there's a whole underground of numerology consultants guiding people's life decisions. What started with Pythagoras has evolved into a thriving industry. Numbers, it seems, still have a hold on you humans. Now, if you want to take it even further down the rabbit hole, there's the Chaldean method, a numerology system that feels almost forbidden in its complexity. Here's where things get really interesting. The number 9 is absent. Chaldeans considered 9 to be divine, untouchable, too sacred to assign to mundane letters. So when you run a name or a word through the Chaldean system, you're dealing with something radically different than the familiar Pythagorean grid. Instead of following place value logic, this method is based on sounds and vibrations, making it feel more mystical, more esoteric. It's as if the Chaldeans tapped into a deeper, more primal understanding of numbers. You won't find a clean, predictable system here. It's chaotic, untamed, and that's exactly what gives it its power. Even today, people who swear by the Chaldean method see it as the true numerology, a way to bypass the watered-down versions and access the raw, spiritual energy of numbers. It's not about convenience or simplicity. It's about mystery, about walking through a world where the number 9 hovers just out of reach, reminding you that some things are too sacred for human hands to touch. Fast forward to today, and numerology has mutated into something that thrives on social media: angel numbers. Yes, that's right. Those repeating digits like 111 or 444 that keep popping up in your Instagram feed, those aren't just cute coincidences. According to the New Age crowd, these are messages from the universe, or angels, depending on how much mystical flavor you want in your life. Doreen Virtue coined the term back in 2005, and it's been gathering momentum ever since. Look at the hashtags angel numbers 333 magic, 444 blessings. The numbers are everywhere, flashing like cosmic notifications, each carrying a divine message meant specifically for you. See 111? That's your angels telling you to get your act together. Spot 222? Balance is on its way. While some might scoff at the idea, others swear by it, believing that these numbers are subtle nudges from the universe, urging you along the right path. In a world where you're bombarded by information and noise, the simplicity of a repeating number feels like clarity, like a signpost in the chaos. Maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's confirmation bias. Or maybe, just maybe, the numbers really are speaking to you. Either way, you're listening. Numerology hasn't just stayed within the realm of the spiritual. It's bled into the material world in ways you might not expect. Take the stock market. Yes, even there in the cold, heartless world of finance, numerology has found a foothold. Ever heard of the Elliot wave principle? It's a method of technical analysis that tries to predict financial market trends by analyzing wave patterns. Sounds mathematical, right? Well, its origins are deeply tied to numerology. Ralph Nelson Elliot believed that human behavior follows a natural sequence of waves that are governed by a series of numbers, Fibonacci numbers to be exact. These numbers, which appear everywhere in nature, supposedly also predict the rise and fall of markets. Traders who follow the Elliott wave principle might not call themselves numerologists, but they're doing exactly what ancient mystics did, looking for patterns in the chaos, using numbers to predict the future. And it doesn't stop there. Some CEOs consult numerologists before launching new products or even choosing company names. They're not just looking for market research, they're looking for a numeric blessing, something to give their brand that extra edge. It's proof that no matter how far you progress technologically, the ancient belief in the power of numbers remains rooted deep in the human psyche. But if you think numerology is just for mystics and stock traders, think again. Some of the greatest minds in science have been captivated by the power of numbers in ways that border on numerology. Take Wolfgang Pauli, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who was obsessed with the number 137. In physics, 137 is a number tied to the fine structure constant, a fundamental quantity that determines the strength of electromagnetic interactions. Pauli was haunted by this number, convinced that it held the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. Then there's Paul Dirac, whose work in quantum mechanics led him to stumble upon strange numerical coincidences, ratios between the age of the universe and atomic constants that seemed too precise to be random. These were serious scientists, not mystics, but even they couldn't resist the allure of numbers. They weren't calculating stock prices or decoding hidden messages in texts. No, they were searching for the underlying numeric structure of reality itself. It makes you wonder, are we all just dancing to the tune of some cosmic number? It's almost impossible to separate numerology from science when you start looking closely. Numbers have this strange duality. They're both the most objective thing in the universe, and yet for some reason, humans feel an almost spiritual connection to them. You don't just use numbers to measure the world around you, you assign them meaning. give them personalities. And science, for all its objectivity, has fallen into the same trap. Even the most logical, data-driven minds can't help but get seduced by the beauty of numbers. Take the fine-tuned universe theory. Scientists have found that certain constants in the universe, like the strength of gravity or the charge of an electron, are set to precisely the right values to allow life to exist. If any of these numbers were even slightly different, life as you know it wouldn't be possible. Is this just a happy accident, or is there some deeper numerological principle at work? Some scientists, like Paul Dirac, couldn't help but wonder if there's a hidden numerical framework behind the universe itself, a kind of cosmic numerology. And that's where things get really interesting. Because maybe, just maybe, the numbers aren't just tools for measurement. Maybe they are the universe, speaking in a language you're only beginning to understand. But not everyone is on board with the idea that numbers hold mystical power. In fact, most of the scientific community scoffs at numerology, dismissing it as pseudoscience, the playground of gullible minds looking for patterns where none exist. They argue that humans have an evolutionary tendency to find patterns in chaos, a trait that once helped you avoid predators in the wild, but now tricks you into seeing meaning in random sequences of numbers. Look at it this way. If you check the time and it's 11:11, your brain latches onto that symmetry and assigns it significance. But what about all the times you check and it's just 10:43? You don't remember those moments because they don't fit into the pattern you're subconsciously searching for. Skeptics claim that numerology is nothing more than confirmation bias dressed up as mysticism. You see what you want to see. And while there's some truth to that, there's also something undeniably powerful about the way numbers resonate with you. Why do you feel a sense of magic when you see those repeating digits? Why does the number 7 pop up in so many religious and cultural contexts? Maybe it's not just a trick of the mind. Maybe the skeptics are missing something deeper, something you can't yet explain. That's the thing about you humans. You're not content with randomness. You want order, structure, meaning. And that's why numerology has endured for so long. It's not just about numbers, it's about your need to impose meaning on a chaotic universe. Think about it. From the earliest civilizations, you've been using numbers to make sense of the world. The Mayans developed an intricate calendar system that predicted celestial events with mind-boggling precision. The Egyptians built their pyramids with mathematical accuracy that still baffles modern architects. And today, you turn to numerology to help you navigate the chaos of daily life, whether you're decoding your birth date to find your life path or checking for signs in the numbers that pop up throughout your day. You crave that sense of control, of knowing that the universe has an underlying structure that can be understood, if only you could crack the code. In a way, numerology isn't just about numbers, it's about hope. Hope that the universe is not random. Hope that your life has meaning. So what do you do with all this? Do you reject numerology as a fanciful superstition, or do you embrace it as a tool for understanding the deeper truths of the universe? Here's where the lines blur. Even if you don't believe that numbers can predict your future or reveal your soul's hidden desires, there's no denying the psychological power they hold. Think about it. If you believe that the number 7 is lucky and you see it on a casino machine, you might feel a rush of confidence. And that confidence could lead you to make bolder choices, which might just lead to actual success. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy in action. By believing in the power of numbers, you shape your own reality. It doesn't matter whether the numbers are magical or not. What matters is that they influence your behavior. So, in a way, numerology works, but not because the numbers themselves are divine. It works because you believe they are. And belief, as you know, is a powerful thing. At the end of the day, numerology speaks to something deeper than just a fascination with numbers. It speaks to your desire to find meaning, to connect the dots, to believe that the universe is more than just a chaotic mess of atoms colliding in the dark. Maybe numerology is just a form of psychological comfort, a way for you to impose order on a world that often feels disordered and random. Or maybe it's something more, a glimpse into the hidden architecture of reality, a reminder that the universe operates according to laws and patterns that are just beyond your grasp. Either way, it's clear that numbers hold a special place in your hearts and minds. They're more than just abstract symbols on a page, they're the building blocks of your understanding of the universe. And whether or not numerology is real, the power of numbers is undeniable. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of numerology. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, I hope you found something here to make you think twice the next time you see those repeating digits on your phone screen. Remember, the universe is full of mysteries, and sometimes the numbers are just waiting for you to notice them. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind even more so. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this dive into the world of hidden patterns and cosmic numbers.